Hello, it's great to have you with us at this hour. I'm Daniel Che here to update you on the latest. Let us begin first with the headlines. South Korea and ASEAN members adopt a joint statement after wrapping up their summit. They vowed to collaborate in promoting free trade and peace in Asia. President Moon Jae-in holds one-on-one meetings with his counterparts from Myanmar and Laos. The leaders agreed to deepen economic cooperation and people-to-people exchanges. Japan's Vice Foreign Minister reportedly apologized to South Korea for claiming that Tokyo successfully pressured Seoul to extend their int'l sharing pact. Japan continues to deny that any apology was given. The 2019 ASEAN-Korea Summit wrapped up today. President Moon Jae-in and the leaders of the regional bloc agreed to work together towards achieving ultimate peace on the Korean peninsula. He also called on the participants to churn out a united message to the parties of the nuclear talks to speed up negotiations. Shin Se-min has our top story.
South Korea and all 10 ASEAN states are tightening their grip on security. President Moon Jae-in, during a joint press conference on Tuesday, wrapping up the last day of the ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit, reaffirmed that all participating leaders agreed on forming partnerships to build a peaceful East Asian community. He underscored the importance of using all possible means to support denuclearization and permanent peace on the Korean peninsula.
아세안은 한반도의 완전한 비핵화와 항구적 평화 구축을 위해 아세안 지역 안보 포럼 등 아세안 주도 지역 협의체를 활용하여 한반도 평화와 안정을 위해 협력해 나가기로 했습니다.
The ARF, or the ASEAN Regional Forum, is the only multilateral security consultative body that includes North Korea. Also, during a closed-door special working lunch session, the South Korean leader called on ASEAN states to continue showing a united message to North Korea and the U.S. so they can promptly resume working-level talks. The ASEAN member nations also expressed their support for President Moon's proposal of turning the heavily demilitarized zone on the inter-Korean border into a peace and cooperation district, one that's open to not only the two Koreas, but also the international community. The top office added that the president asked the ASEAN bloc to help create a framework for sustainable dialogue to end the 7 decades of tensions on the Korean peninsula. Having said that, the third North Korea-U.S. summit will mark the last hurdle in achieving a united community in East Asia. President Moon Jae-in is rolling up his sleeves and joining hands with the ASEAN bloc in efforts to bolster currently stalled Korean peace process. Shin Se-min, Arirang News, Busan.
ASEAN and South Korea will band together in resisting the global tide of protectionism. They agreed to stand up for free trade values while responding to the Fourth Industrial Revolution together. Park Hee-jun outlines the consensus to boost economic connectivity.
ASEAN and South Korea will commit to protecting the principles of free trade, understanding it as a way to guarantee co-prosperity.
전 세계적으로 보호무역주의에 대한 우려가 커지는 가운데 우리는 자유무역이 공동번영의 길이라는 것을 재확인했습니다. 우리는 RCEP 협정문 타결을 환영하고 한 아세안 FTA를 바탕으로 자유무역을 지켜나가기로 했습니다.
President Moon's remarks following the ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit on Tuesday were made against the backdrop of increasing uncertainties stemming from the trade conflicts between the U.S. and China and between Korea and Japan. Adding on to RCEP, the 11 nations will work to sign bilateral free trade deals as well. And this, also reflected in their joint vision statements and the co-chair statements, is expected to help diversify trade for Korea, which has been working to lower its reliance on its four neighbors. Also, for mutual economic growth, ASEAN and Korea will extend their partnership to technologies related to the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
우리는 4차 산업혁명 시대도 함께 열어가기로 했습니다. 과학기술협력센터와 표준화, 산업혁신 분야의 협력센터를 아세안에 설립하고 스타트업 파트너십도 강화할 것입니다.
They will share their knowledge in fields ranging from smart agriculture and smart cities to robotics. This is in line with the Moon administration's drive to foster new innovative growth engines anticipated to revitalize the economy and create jobs. And South Korea, leading the 5G network and artificial intelligence industries, plans to help ASEAN respond to the digital transformation. Welcoming the significant progress they made in Busan, South Korea and ASEAN will strengthen their economic connectivity, a core part of President Moon's New Southern policy. Amid a growing need for global cooperation, they will buck the trend and build another 30 years of firm ties. Park Hee-jun, Arirang News, Busan.
Also, President Moon shared his belief that the Mekong countries are best suited to help North Korea.
북한이 비핵화를 통해 세계 속으로 놓은다면 경험을 나누며 가장 잘 도와줄 수 있는 나라도 메콩 국가들입니다. 정상 여러분의 지지와 성원으로 언젠가 남북의 정상이 메콩 정상들과 함께 식사 자리를 가질 수 있게 되길 바랍니다.
Speaking at a welcoming dinner with Mekong nations earlier this afternoon, he asked Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam partners to support the peace efforts. Moon credited their role in calling Pyongyang out to the international community and helping to reduce tensions on the Korean peninsula. During their summit tomorrow, South Korea and Mekong will discuss their joint vision to achieve sustainable prosperity. President Moon continued to meet face-to-face with the participating leaders. Speaking with his counterparts from Myanmar and Laos, the focus was on further boosting economic cooperation and encouraging people-to-people exchanges. Woo Jung-hee has the highlights from those sessions.
It's the first time the leaders of Myanmar and Laos visited South Korea since their inauguration in 2016. Sitting down with each of them for bilateral summits on the sidelines of the ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit in Busan, President Moon Jae-in welcomed Aung San Suu Kyi of Myanmar and Thongloun Sisoulith of Laos to South Korea.
양국은 지난 정상회담에서 미얀마의 지속가능 발전 계획과 한국의 신남방 정책을 연계하기로 했으며 경제협력산업단지 건설을 시작으로 다양한 경제협력의 기반을 마련했습니다. 직업, 교육, 환경, 수산 부분으로 양국의 협력을 더욱 확대하여 우리의 우정이 더욱 굳건해지길 기대합니다.
The state councillor of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, highlighted that she especially hopes the young generation of the two countries can join together. She added that Myanmar will help in building peace on the Korean peninsula.
When we were talking about peace in the Korean peninsula, we would like to do everything possible to contribute to the peace of mind of your people. It's not peace as a material gain, but as peace creating peace of mind among the peoples that is so important for everybody.
Later in the day, President Moon sat down with the Lao Prime Minister Thongloun Sisoulith. The focus, not only expanding cooperation in a variety of fields, but also Seoul's continued efforts in development assistance to Laos.
양국은 기존의 협력 사업들을 빠르게 실현해 나가면서 농업협력, ICT, 스타트업을 비롯한 미래지향적인 분야로 협력을 넓히고 있습니다. 메콩 강변에서 한 메콩 비전을 발표하여 더 폭넓은 협력의 계기를 마련할 수 있었던 것을 매우 뜻깊게 생각합니다.
During the past 25 years, I'm pleased to say that Korea and Laos have developed our friendship to a great extent. I once again appreciate Korea's development assistance through EDCF for the years 2020 to 2023.
Korea promised to help Laos develop into a hub country in Southeast Asia for logistics and transport. Korea and Laos agreed to boost their cooperation in infrastructure, job education, and intellectual property. Woo Jung-hee, Arirang News.
The world is witnessing the rise of digital economy and entrepreneurship as one of the fastest growing economic regions and as a global leader in high-tech and the IT industry. ASEAN and South Korea are looking to ride this wave. Together, they will rake in the benefits of cooperation in the startup industry as well. Hong Yu explains further.
Leapfrogging was how President Moon described the ASEAN and Korean startups that are following the lead of other firms that have grown through innovation. Just like the slogan of the event, ASEAN-Korea Startups priming the economy, startups are expected to flourish through future cooperation.
한아세안 11개국이 하나가 된 스타트업 생태계를 조성해야 합니다. 스타트업 간 교류의 장을 제공하겠습니다. 스타트업 중장기 로드맵을 공동 수립하여 벤처 투자자들에게 스타트업 정책과 정보를 알리고 함께 투자할 수 있도록 네트워크를 구축하겠습니다.
Representatives of 40 startups from ASEAN, such as Arirang Group, BookMe Bus, and Carsom, that are participating in an incubating program in Korea, also took part in the summit. On the sidelines, startups are here to share information about the business ecosystem in their home countries and look for valuable foreign investment.
My name is G, and I'm from Tuida. Tuida is the company delivering mobile application which non-native Korean speakers can practice speaking skills in Korean. And we expect to meet a lot of peoples and introduce our service for the many Asian peoples, because we are targeting our users to use our service in Asia who is like the K-pop or Korean culture, and also who want to learn Korean for their job.
The number of newly established businesses in South Korea hit 100,000 for the first time ever last year. And the number of unicorn firms, startups worth over $1 billion increased to 10 this year from 2 in 2016. To create a field in which startups can be nurtured to grow into unicorns, the two parties plan to continue holding ministerial-level meetings and come up with a system of cooperation. 홍유, Arirang News, Busan.
The 2019 summit outperformed the previous two held here in the nation in the number of related events on various topics. Smart farming, smart life, future environment, and mobility were among those. Kim Hye-sung takes us to the Innovation Showcase and Invest ASEAN 2019 for more on how the two sides are working to boost economic ties.
On the theme of future and co-prosperity, Korean companies unveiled their latest products at the ASEAN-Korea Innovation Showcase. The showcase focuses on 4 areas: smart farming, future environment and energy, future mobility, and smart life. Smart agriculture refers to the use of automated, remotely managed systems for farming that are backed by AI and the Internet of Things.
Our tractors can work under remote control, which helps increase productivity and efficiency. We are cooperating with a Vietnamese auto company to produce cars in Vietnam as a base, and then supply those to Indonesia, Malaysia, and other countries.
As ASEAN countries' urbanization levels near tripled from 18% in the 1960s to 48%, or 310 million people in 2017, demand for smart infrastructure, smart factories, and future cars like electric cars has soared. Brunei's Samsung Motors displayed its electric car, which runs for 80 kilometers after being fully charged in 3.5 hours with a 220-volt plug.
The Renault Twizy is much smaller than average vehicles. You can park 3 Twizy cars in a parking space for one normal-sized vehicle. We believe that the Twizy can become popular in ASEAN countries that currently use motorcycles as the main mode of transport.
At Invest ASEAN 2019, the 10 ASEAN countries set up booths to provide information about their investment environment and business opportunities. Thanks to its growing economy and consumer market, total foreign direct investment into ASEAN has increased 6-fold in the last 20 years, recording over $150 billion in 2018.
Our Malaysia team here is actually participating in Invest ASEAN to promote information of investments to Malaysia. We promote, actually halal industry is one of the promoter sector. We welcome Korean company to invest in Malaysia in terms of the halal industries in the F&B industry.
There are also one-on-one consulting services organized by the Korea International Trade Association to help connect hundreds of Korean exporting companies with buyers from ASEAN countries. Kim Hye-sung, Arirang News, Busan.
The Philippines, one of South Korea's core tourism partners, Seoul and Manila signed an agreement to boost cooperation and improve traveler safety. Kim Mo-kyun sat down with the Filipino Tourism Secretary for the specifics on the planned measures.
South Korea and the Philippines have agreed to further boost cooperation in the tourism industry.
On the sidelines of the 2019 ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit, Korea's Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Park Yang-woo and the Philippines Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo-Buyat signed an agreement on the implementation of a 2016 MOU on tourism cooperation. The agreement includes plans to increase the exchanges of tourism experts, share statistics on related data, and hold joint security exercises. Speaking with Arirang TV, the Philippines Tourism Secretary said that the agreement is essential to promoting sustainable cooperation.
We value our relationship with Korea, so hopefully with the implementing agreement, we will be having more programs together, joint promotions, how we can promote sustainable tourism together, and how we can further increase the numbers between the two countries.
Secretary Buyat also said that the Philippines is working to increase the number of direct flights from Seoul and expand its Korean translation services. Despite the active tourist exchanges, there still seems to be lingering concerns about safety in the aftermath of several safety incidents in the country. The minister said safety is one of their top priorities.
Alongside the tourists, there are tens of thousands of South Korean residents living in the Philippines, but many of them still are concerned about the possible dangers they might experience in the Philippines. What kind of plans does the Philippine government have to put these concerns into rest?
Yesterday, during the bilateral meeting between the two presidents, and we were present, our president, President Duterte, assured the Korean government that first we will ensure the safety of our Korean tourists. As we've said, the Koreans are our friends, our family, and we will make sure that any place they go to the country is very safe. In fact, in cooperation with the Philippine National Police, we have what we call top cops to ensure the safety of our tourists.
Stressing that South Korea is the Philippines' #1 source of tourists and that Filipinos have a deep love for Korean culture, the tourism minister vowed to continue bolstering opportunities for cooperation. Kim Mo-kyun, Arirang News, Busan.
The ASEAN-Korea Summit had something for everyone. One highlight event that captivated skincare and cosmetics enthusiasts was the KBeauty Festival. Kim Bo-kyung turns the spotlight to this event.
Korea is well known for its high-quality cosmetics and innovative products. Exporting $6.2 billion worth last year, it ranked 4th among cosmetics exporting countries. The KBeauty Festival in Busan was held to promote the industry further.
One of the most eye-catching of the 3 zones is the Korean ASEAN zone, which shows the cooperative models of Korea and the ASEAN countries.
Some new products by Korean cosmetics use raw materials produced by the ASEAN, such as noni from the Philippines and peanuts from Myanmar. There was also a company that actively exports its products to the ASEAN countries.
Moart is selling products in the offline stores of ASEAN countries such as Malaysia and Singapore. With the help of the Startups Ministry and the Korea Foundation for Cooperation between Large and Small Business Rural Affairs, we were able to do local marketing and enter the market.
To further promote those cooperative models, Korea's Minister of SMEs and Startups Park Young-sun said Korea and ASEAN will interact more.
With the Republic of Korea at the centre, we're going to interact more with the ASEAN countries by having regular meetings with startups and small and medium-sized companies in ASEAN, and by organising regular K-beauty exhibitions together. In this way, we plan to develop a co-brand for Korea and ASEAN.
The festival also enabled visitors to get a look at various beauty products. South Korea's First Lady Kim Jong-suk and 6 other First Ladies from ASEAN were among the visitors. They checked out products made by 9 small and medium-sized businesses under the name of Brand K, which is a system designed to raise awareness of small and medium-sized brands and raise their value through government certification. The First Ladies also got to experience some of Korea's high-tech cosmetics products, such as the 3D mask pack. Kim Bo-kyung, Arirang News, Busan.
We now turn our attention to the ongoing controversy over the conditional extension of GSOMIA. According to Korean government sources, Tokyo officially apologized for stating that Japan made no concessions for the int'l sharing pack's extension. Yoon Jung-min updates us on the situation.
Japan's Vice Foreign Minister reportedly sent a message of apology to South Korea last Friday night via its embassy in Seoul over the controversial way Japan announced that Seoul was delaying the termination of GSOMIA, the military intelligence sharing pact. Multiple South Korean government sources told reporters on Tuesday that the apology was relayed by a Japanese embassy official explicitly on behalf of Tokyo's Vice Foreign Minister, and it was sent just a few hours after Seoul announced its decision to delay GSOMIA's expiration. This came after South Korea filed a formal complaint over the distorted way Tokyo announced the decision made the same day, in which Japan essentially claimed it won the deal without making any concessions. Japan said Friday that there would be no change in the trade curbs it's put on South Korea, though it would resume high-level talks with Seoul about them. The Blue House Public Communications Office has since said that if South Korea were lying about getting an apology, then Japan would be filing an official complaint about it. Government officials in Tokyo, according to Japanese media, continue to deny that any apology was given, but an official at the Blue House told reporters on Tuesday that no formal complaint has been made. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.
South Korea launched a strong complaint to Pyongyang over artillery drills carried out along the border. Seoul's defense ministry said a written statement was sent after the contents were verbally expressed through the Inter-Korean military communication line. It had called for the regime to comply with the Inter-Korean Comprehensive Military Agreement by refraining from engaging in provocations that could heighten tensions. The recent drill came on the 9th anniversary of North Korea's shelling of the border island of Yeonpyeong, which killed 2 South Korean Marines and 2 civilians. Pyongyang has not yet responded to Seoul's complaint. The nation's outbound shipments declined for 6 straight months. According to the Bank of Korea, the export volume for last month fell 4.6% on-year, mainly due to electronics and petroleum products, down 3.4% and 7.4% respectively. The terms of trade index for products also came to 90.84, down 3.4%. A reading below 100 means import prices exceed export prices. Export prices went down 15.5%, dipping for the 11th consecutive month. A 12-month drop would mark the second longest streak in the country's history after the 19-month losing streak between January 2015 and July 2016. Overall sales in the global NAND flash memory market recovered for the first time in a year. According to market researcher DRAM Exchange, total sales in NAND flash worldwide came to nearly $12 billion in Q3, an increase of more than 10% on quarter. Sales had been falling since Q4. However, the latest figure is still an on-year drop of more than 30%. Samsung Electronics posted the biggest sales with an upswing of roughly 6% on quarter, bringing in almost $4 billion. This was the second straight quarter the Korean tech giant enjoyed a market share of more than 30%.
In the run-up to December, we have cold mornings here in Seoul where the lows are staying around 0 degrees Celsius. And it's going to stay cold throughout the day for the rest of the week as the highs stay below 10 degrees. Although we'll kick off with clouds tomorrow, the skies will clear up later in the morning. Now tomorrow, westerly winds are bringing 60 millimeters of rain to Gangwon-do province's eastern region until Thursday night, and 30 millimeters to the east coast, and 30 centimeters of heavy snow to the mountains. Going over to our readings in detail, Seoul is kicking off with a morning low of 1 degree Celsius, Daejeon, Daegu and Gwangju 5 degrees, and Jeju 12 degrees. It will be cloudy all day in Jeju, but most of the nation will be sunny with clean air during the day. And the highs of 9 degrees Celsius in Seoul and Chuncheon, and 12 in Gwangju and Daegu, and 14 in Busan. Tomorrow, the Mekong Korea Summit is taking place in Busan, and the low will be on the chilly side at 9 degrees. And we'll see some sunshine breaking through the clouds during the first half of the day, but it will be fairly cloudy in the afternoon with highs of 14 degrees. I'll leave you with the weather conditions around the world.
This is where we have to wrap things up. As always, thank you for watching.